All right, guys, we have got a brand new tool for the shop in today. Just got here a little while ago directly from Baldor. It was a direct shipment here, and what I have purchased is this is a Baldor 8-inch buffer model. I believe it was a model 332B, 1800 RPM. It is 110, so I didn't want to fuss with three-phase, but brand new buffer, and the old one that was my dad's that's over here on the pedestal, that is ancient. We've always used it. It's got a wire wheel on one side. That thing finally has just kind of bit the dust and quit working. And I have been lusting after one of these Baldor buffers for a long time. Probably 5-6 years ago, I saw Tom Lipton at Ox Tool. He's got one just like this. I think it's the same one, except his is a 3600 RPM. And ever since I saw his setup, I've been wanting to do the same thing. So he runs a wire wheel on one side and a buffing wheel on the other side, like a Scotch-Brite wheel. And so after my dad's old grinder quit working on me, I didn't want to mess with it anymore. I decided it was time to go ahead and invest in the buffer that I've been wanting. So I looked up on KBC Tools website because they sell Baldor, they're a distributor there, but I could not find this exact one that I wanted. They had some other ones listed. They've got pedestal grinders and stuff listed, but they didn't have this particular model. So I contacted Steve Rowe over there at KBC, and the cool thing about KBC is that they're a distributor, and if they don't have something in their catalog or their website, they will source it for you. So don't think just because they don't have it that you can't buy it from them. If there's something that you want, you call them up and say, hey, I'm looking for this particular item from whoever, and they'll sell it to you because they're a distributor. They're an industrial distributor. So he knew that this is the one I wanted, so he had Baldor just direct shipped it to me. All right, I've got some wire wheels and some new Scotch-Brite wheels over there. I'll show you what I got, but I wanted to just show you what it looked like as it comes. You know, they got it saran wrapped to a piece of plywood, and they got the styrofoam around it to protect it. So I'm gonna get it out of this box on the workbench here so that we can take a closer look at it. Catalog model 332B, 3/4 horsepower, one phase, and 1800 RPM. So that's it. That's exactly the one that we wanted. This is the board that they painted on right here. Let's go ahead and open her up. You cannot go wrong with Baldor electric motors. Their grinders, buffers, this is all high quality stuff. This is going to be sweet right here. I do plan on, I'm probably going to make a new pedestal for this. The one that my dad's old one on is probably a little light duty for this, so we may just go ahead and fab up a brand new heavier base pedestal so that it'll kind of keep it supported down there. So here's our wheel selections for this particular grinder. And I also got some bushings for the wire brushes here too, because I wasn't sure if they came with bushings, but I think that they did. They look like they got some in there because the wire wheels have a 2-inch hole, and the shaft size on this particular grinder is 3/4 inch. All right, so we got standard abrasives. These are like the convolute style wheels. It's like Scotch-Brite material, so it's soft. These are used for if you want to do some deburring or buffing or polishing, you know, removing machine marks, that kind of stuff. They're not real aggressive, but they shine and polish and that kind of stuff. But I have a fine and a medium right here. Just so I have a couple different ones to try and mess with there. So there's the medium and this is the fine. All right, and then so we've also got some wire brushes. I'm gonna try both of them, or just see how one works and go from there. But we also have a fine and medium wire brush as well. These are the bushings that I didn't realize that they came with bushings because it didn't say that in the catalog. But this will be, we'll run one of these wire wheels on one side, and I like this style with the buffer, you know, running the wire brush, whenever I was watching Tom, you know, the way that he does it, you don't have guards and stuff in the way of your material, you know, it's just out here in the open, and it makes it a lot more convenient to do your buffing with the wheels just open like that. Okay, so you got to wear your safety glasses and your face shield whenever you're using this kind of stuff on a buffer like that. But that's how I'm gonna plan on running it. I got it plugged in. We'll give it a dry run. I just took all the spacers and the nuts and everything off. Perfect. Spins up and runs just like it's supposed to. Can't even hardly hear that thing running. Yep, that's going to be nice. So again, I did say I think that this is the 1800 model, 1800 RPM. They do offer a 3600 RPM model as well, but I thought that might be a little too fast for doing wire brushing. So I don't know. Regardless, this is going to get the job done. So really looking forward to getting this thing mounted up on a proper pedestal. Get these wheels mounted on here. You know, that's what we got our bushings for, and have this thing ready so I can have a good wire brush to go to when I want to do some cleaning. Nice. I think it's so quiet, man. Go. Now you got a little bit more vibration, just because that wheel, you know, it's a wire wheel. It's not going to run perfectly true. Need to see about getting it tightened up. It's probably not pulled up square, but anyway, I just wanted to kind of show you what it's going to look like, you know, once we set it up. So I'll make sure they're mounted on there the way they need to be and get them tightened up. But when I get a chance, we're going to build a pedestal and get this thing mounted up. We haven't seen a good hayman job in quite a while, and I got one in the other day. One of my neighbors actually brought these in. These are some handles that go to a pull ladder, and he's been doing some work for somebody. He's sort of like a handyman, painting and stuff like that. And apparently wherever he's doing some work, these bars belong to that homeowner, and that homeowner asked him, well, since he couldn't do it, could he help him get it done? So he brought them to me and asked me, could I do them? What you've got is all four ends where they bolt in. Apparently they were all broken off, and you can see that whoever owns this tried to drill them out on both ends. Tried to drill them out, got them off center. Didn't have any success. On this one over here, it gets even better. That side right there, they got a tap broke off down in there. Look at that. Isn't that nice? So, you know, trying to drill stuff out, it's failing. So that's typical for somebody that really has no experience doing metal work or drilling and tapping, you know, that kind of stuff. I've seen this plenty of times, and I've showed it in videos where people try to drill a bolt out and they drill it off center and mess it up even worse. And I've always tried to tell people in a polite way, you know, customers when they come in and they bring stuff like this in, I'll just tell them, I'm like, in the future, if you have something, no matter what it is, and you got a bolt broke off in there, just leave it alone and bring it to me and let me fix it, because it's going to be a lot easier for me to do and less time involved than trying to fix your mess up when you've got broken taps and drills down in there in the hole. But you know, you can't get through to everybody, and people don't realize that, but that's the fact of the matter. People try to do it and they can't do it, and they end up messing it up, causing it worse. So I'm not real happy about this job right here, but I thought I would go ahead and try to help some people out, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to see if I can get these things out of here and get these things back out of my shop. Keep slipping off there. Try to. Would you look at that? Got it. Gotta love it, man. Granddad's Blue Point Supreme bolt extractor. Very cool. We're going to try it again on this side here. I don't know if I'll get lucky again. I'm using the holes that the owner put in there, and this one looks like it may be touching the thread, so I don't know if this is going to work or not, but the heat definitely helped the other one by expanding and allow it to break loose of that grippy hole it had. Looks like it had Loctite in it. Usually when it burns like that, that's Loctite. But I don't know for sure. Just trying to keep it nice and hot. If it is Loctite, burn it all out of there and help everything kind of break loose. See if we can give it a shot with our tool real quick. There we go. See that? Look at that. It worked. I hate that. I keep dropping the wrench down through there. Look at that. Very nice broken or a bolt extractor kit here. I can see the problem. Whoever installed it used carbon steel bolts for this. Really should have been stainless steel since it's something that's used outside. I'm going to set this one down. I'll just chase the other one later. We'll go ahead and see if we can work on the other handle. This one we might get lucky with, like the other two. There is a hole down through it, but it's just right there on the thread, so maybe the heat is really helping. Maybe there's Loctite in there that I'm breaking loose. It's burning just like the other one. Let's do it. This one's probably not going to do it. It's just twisting. Gonna do it. Not on this one. That one's locked in there tight. Or I'm trying to twist on the threads. That could be the other issue there. We might try the welding trick on this one. Go ahead and get a washer, get it welded to what's sticking up there, see if we can get a good hold on it. Maybe weld a bolt or a nut to it, see if we can get it out that way. May try a little bit of heat. Let me see if it tries to move at all. Looks like it is trying to move. I think that's maybe my weld. That's my weld. Failed. That's why I try to tell folks that say, oh, you just need to weld it and it'll come out of there. It doesn't work every time. I mean, it works sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes you might do a better job than you did before. But I usually try to get them out without welding them first, so I don't make a big mess of it with all the weld. But I'm gonna give it another shot. I'm gonna weld it again. Tried to build it up a little bit and fill in that hole. So we'll see if we can get a better weld on it now. Get that ball in the middle of it there. Alright, well, I've had no luck with that other end. I've flipped it around. This is the side that's got the broke tap in there. I've done a little bit of heating, but I am going to attempt to wash them out with the torch. I've got a number 0 tip in here, and I'm going to see if I can work that tap, since it's got a slot on each side there, or a groove, you know, grounding it into where there's 4 flutes. And I'm going to see if I can wash it out. I might try that with the bolt as well. So let's see what we can do. I'm hoping that I don't burn a hole in the tube there. I'm through it. I'm just trying to wash all the bolt out there as well. You can see it getting hot. Can't stay on long. Alright. I'm going to stop at that side and let it cool down. I think I've got most of it washed out of there, but it's so hot, I'm going to end up burning the tube up. I went back to the welding technique again on the bolt side of it. I'm going to try it one more time. Try to get a little bit better weld on it. Feel it moving. That's the screw moving there. You want to come out of there. Just got to work with me. I think we might have it. There we go. All right, let me turn this off. I think we got it that time. Wow. What a nightmare that one was. Jesus. Look at that. This is the tap side. I've flipped it back around since it was cooled off, and I've been blowing most of that steel out of the threads. Just hitting it a little bit and coming out, and I can see the threads in there, and I'm doing pretty good washing the metal out, but I have to be careful that I don't overheat the tube underneath it. So little by little I'm blowing what's left of the thread out of the what's left of the bolt out of the threads, and I think I've pretty well got it right there. I think I can probably run a tap through there. I'll let everything cool down. This is the one that we used the torch on and blew the bolt out, and it's looking like it's going to work out pretty good there. I'm just going to go ahead and run the tap in the holes now to clean them out. Yeah, it's going right in there. Oh, there we go. We hit a little bit. Got it. Nothing to it. All right, I'm going to do that on all 4 ends because this is the first one I run a tap in, and be good. Be good to go. I'd get some air and blow that out, clean it out some. I will advise the owner of these things to buy some stainless steel bolts, some corrosion resistant bolts, and use some anti-seize in there. All right, just about done. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other 2 and clean them up, and this will be finished up. Man, I can breathe a sigh of relief now that I got these bars finished up. I was really worried that they were going to be just a pain in the butt and just give me a lot of problem and spend a bunch of time on getting them out. But I was very lucky that they all came out. You know, we had the 2 stubborn ones, but we prevailed and got them done. And I was also fortunate that the owner had already put a hole, you know, down through the center of the bolts there, which kind of worked out into my favor. It was really just less work on my part, and luckily they weren't drilled way off center and cutting into the threads there. So this is done, and I can let him know he can come and get them. As far as the discoloration, all he's got to do is just get him some Scotch-Brite and rub that with some Scotch-Brite, and it'll take the color right on off there. Ain't nothing to it. That's just part of the work it takes to, you know, fix things right there. And let me pull you down a little close, and we'll take a look at our screws and talk about our screw extractor set I got. All right, so here's our 2 that we were able to remove with the screw extractor. Well, that's a hard one to say sometimes. All right, and then you've seen in the video where it took a lot of heat to get these things to move, and that's oftentimes the case. Is you need to get some heat on your parts and get everything to grow and help break apart. Sometimes there's Loctite in there that you don't realize. I got a feeling this might have been Loctited because the way it was burning out of there, which is very common. So the heat definitely made these come loose using the extractor right there. And then there's a better look at the one that we got welded that finally worked. This was the 3rd try, so it was the hat trick. I spent more time building up the center of the bolt and actually filling it in before I started welding the washer and the nut. These are the first 2 that I did right there. And you can see where I was fused to this side of the bolt right there, but there just wasn't quite enough, or the threads were locked in there so tight that this won't get it out. And that's what I try to tell folks sometimes that say, all you got to do is just weld a nut on it and it'll screw right out of there. Well, it doesn't always work. You got to work at it to get it to work for you and to your advantage. You can see right there where it broke the bolt right on out of there. And so combination of more weld on it and heat, and you work that thing back and forth, but you can clearly see that the threads were galled. And that's the point that I'm trying to make, is that it's not always the fact that you can just weld something on it. Sometimes there's other things that's hindering the threads from removing from that hole. Sometimes you just got to drill it all out of there because it's so screwed up that you never get it to turn, no matter how good you weld it. So there's our broken bolts that we got out right there. I was going to show this. Now, this is a very old classic set. That was the Blue Point brand, you know, one of Snap-on's brand right there. And this was my granddad's. This is a cast aluminum, or I'm assuming that it's a cast aluminum set right there. And you can still buy these, and now they're rigid brand, okay? So here's a look at the set. But what I love about this set, though, is just the metal case there. They've got all the information just molded right in there to the lid there. So it talks about the extractor size, the drill bit that you use for each one. And then these are drill guides right here. So if you've got a bolt that's broken off down inside of a hole, you can take these different drill guides right here and stick them in the hole, and then you run down the center of that with your drill bit, and it helps get you drilled in the center of your bolt right there. And of course, these are the nuts that you use to once you drill the hole through the bolt, you drive these down in there, and then you slide the nut down over it and use a wrench. And these are more efficient than the standard easy out because they don't have they're not tapered, so they're not pushing out on the side of the screw there. causing it to bind up even tighter. And I was going to point out, so the number 1 in here has been missing for a very long time. All right, let's go ahead and put our, we're going to put our number 4 back in here and then put our nut in there. So I was wanting to find the replacement for the number 1, and as I said, Rigid is the manufacturer, the supplier of this kit now, and I was able to find this actually in the KBC Tool catalog. I was looking through there, and they have these kits at KBC Tools, and they sell the individual parts. So this is the number 1 extractor, and you can see it comes with the spline shaft and the nut there. So let's go ahead and take this out. Yep, there we go. Okay, good deal. So now I've got the number 1 back in the case here, and we'll move the nuts down, and we'll put the new one in there. Actually, this might be the original nut right here. Yep, that's the original nut. Okay, so anyway, if you're looking for the replacements, KBC's got them there, and they'll sell you individual pieces, the drill bushings, the extractors, you know, what have you. So anyway, there you go. Hope you enjoyed that project, and just showing you some of the tools that it takes sometimes to get something done. You know, have you a good tap wrench, different taps to clean it out, you know, drill bits, and then either a drill press, a mill, or a hand drill to get the hole down through there.